know, that's a garbage truck out there. I'm filming a video. What's up, guys? Okay, so today I filmed 2 videos. First video was a makeup tutorial, so if you're interested in how I achieved this look, the makeup tutorial is about how to contour around face, then stay tuned for my next video. But for today, I decided to do a fun little Q&A. I found some really funny questions online, and some really interesting ones too. Let's do it. Question number 1. How did you find out that Santa isn't real? I don't remember about Santa, but I remember about the Tooth Fairy. I was probably like 5 or 6, and I remember for some reason I was like in the living room. I must have fallen asleep on the couch or something, and it was like dark in the house, and I looked over in my room and I saw like a shadow, and it was my mom's shadow, and she was like putting money under my pillow, and I knew that it was like the Tooth Fairy because I had lost a tooth, and I just remember thinking like, oh, it's Mom. Like what? Like I was shook. Toilet paper, over or under? Over, always. What's wrong with you? How do you feel about putting pineapple on pizza? Y'all are nasty. No. What is something that everyone looks stupid doing? Taking a selfie. I have problems vlogging in public and taking selfies in public. I don't know why, even though it's so normal now, I still think everyone looks stupid doing it. What part of a kid's movie completely scarred you? Of a kid's movie? I don't know, because when I was a kid, I watched a lot of like adult movies because like that's what my parents watched, and like we weren't super careful about what we watched in the house. Like we watched a lot of action movies. I grew up watching like The Sixth Sense and stuff when I was really little. That movie definitely scarred me. I don't care who you are, The Sixth Sense is a freaking scary movie. They have like freaking ghosts and crap like walking around your house at night, like roaming the halls with like knives in their backs. No, no thanks. Best type of cheese? Pepper jack, for sure. What mythical creature would improve the world most if it existed? I would say fairies. Not necessarily like a fairy godmother, just fairies in general, because they're just so positive, and I feel like they would be like little angels going around encouraging everybody.
You know that place between sleep and awake? That place where you still remember dreaming?
If you were wrongfully put into an insane asylum, how would you convince them that you're actually sane and not just pretending to be sane? I think I would just try to relate to them on an emotional level. I feel like that's like always the ploy, you know, for people on movies. It's like Hannibal Lecter, just...
You use Evian skin cream. And sometimes you wear lead at home.
And then just like wear their face, you know. That's too far, I'm sorry. What personality trait do you wish you had? I wish that I wasn't so awkward. No, I wish that I was more outgoing in social situations. Like I'm a pretty outgoing person, but mainly with people that I know. If I'm in a group of people that I don't really know, that's a garbage truck out there, just so you know. If I'm with a group of people I don't know, I get kind of shy and then I just kind of draw back and I'm not really fully myself. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? Right after I got my heart broken, it's getting kind of serious, but I got my heart broken pretty bad, and then literally like a day after everything happened, I booked a ticket to Wisconsin, like with my family over there for like 2 weeks, and I just like left everything. This is like not good spontaneity. This is like irresponsible spontaneity, but I was in college, okay? Give me a break. So I left like school, I left my work, I left everything. I was just like a wreck. And I booked a ticket and left for like 2 weeks and just like needed that time to kind of like re-evaluate things, and like it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life, even though it caused a lot of problems with like school and work and everything. It was definitely needed. That really sparked all of my other travels, and so ever since I did that, I realized how much I loved flying, and then I became a flight attendant, and it just kind of spiraled into my whole travel journey. So I don't regret it at all, but yeah, that was probably the most irresponsible / spontaneous thing I've ever done. What was your favorite fairy tale growing up? All the Disney movies, all of them. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever worn? Oh my God, I definitely remember this. I was in 5th grade and I went to my first dance and I thought I looked so pretty. My mom took me to get my outfit and I got this really long, like matronly length floral blue skirt and like a light blue top that like came up to here. But I remember like I had glasses and I had the short hair and I had braces, and I just remember thinking like I felt so pretty. Yeah, that's definitely the most embarrassing thing. What fictional character is amazing in their book, show, movie, but would be insufferable if you had to deal with them in mundane, everyday situations? Probably, what's the guy from Twilight? What's his name? The vampire from Twilight. Oh my God, what is his name? I forget his name. That's, wow. Anyway, that guy.
If Edward was not a fictional character and you just met him in reality, you know, he's one of those guys who'd be like an axe murderer.
What skill or craft would you like to master? I've dabbled in so many things, but I would say piano because I can sing, so I feel like I can learn the piano, but it just takes me a really long time. But if I could just master it, then I could just play whatever and just sing and like express myself musically and not have like that tough challenge of having such difficulty learning a new song every time. If you could shop for free at one store, which would you choose? I'm gonna be basic. Anthropology, come on. What movie can you watch over and over again? There's only a couple that I can really just like watch over and over again. La La Land. Oh, Harry Potter. Duh. Can't watch The Notebook because it's just not realistic enough. As if La La Land is, like, okay. Harry Potter, for sure. Can watch it throughout. I'm gonna watch it till I'm 80, and you know, whoever I date or marry is gonna have to deal. And hopefully they love Harry Potter, because if they don't, deal breaker. Is cereal soup? What kind of questions are these? Would you rather go to a club, house party, or small get-together of 4 or 5 friends? Definitely the small get-together of 4 or 5 friends. That's quality time. Love that. What would be your perfect day? Oh, my perfect day would be spending time with my family, my sig of.
No sig off.
Just say significant others.
Well, maybe you have that kind of time, but I'm on a tight schedule.
And traveling, just being active, like being outside on a fresh, gorgeous day, either on the water or in the mountains, like doing something where we're just outside and having a good time, eating good, healthy food, and making music, like someone bringing an acoustic guitar, sitting around a campfire, making s'mores, just quality time. Cap off the night, a glass of red wine, watching a great movie, and cuddling with my dog. What is the most important object you own? Probably just because I recently bought them. It's gonna sound so superficial, but these beats, I just got the Decade Collection beats. Oh, I love them so much. And what's funny is I had a dream about them last night. I had a dream that my dog like chewed them up and that I left them on the couch and like they were just completely destroyed. And I was so sad. I like cried and I was like, I just spent $300 on these. I mean, okay, it's not the most important thing I own, but it's like right now one of the most valuable things I own other than like my camera and my computer. Most important thing I own, I'll say the Bible, okay? Just because, check your heart. Shout out to John B. Christ. What's the best inside joke you've been a part of? So when I was in college, we used to have like this apartment. All my friends, our place was like the hangout. Like that's where everybody used to come. And anytime someone new would like be invited to hang out with us, there were like probably about 7 or 8 of us on the norm, but like, you know, some would come, some would not, depending on the day. But we used to like come over, we would have like lazy Sunday, so everybody on Sunday after church, we would come over to my house and we would all just like put mattresses and like pillows and blankets all over the floor and just watch movies, and that was like our lazy Sunday. But then at night, anytime like somebody would invite a new friend, we would have to like initiate them into the group. And so our initiation for them was like it was like a rave. So like slowly we would like set up like the vibes. So like somebody would be over like controlling the lights, and like literally the slowest you can turn down the light possible, like that's what that person would do. So you almost like don't even notice it. And then by the time it got really dark, we would blast like just techno music and everybody would like get out their phones and just like put the flashlights on and just start raving and like going crazy. So dumb. And we would always just like freak people out, and some people just really just wouldn't come back, but for the most part people thought it was hilarious. And then they would be in on it, and anytime someone new would come, like they would do it with us. It was just, that's probably the weirdest, funniest inside joke I was a part of. If you could dedicate your life to solving one problem, what problem would you choose? Oh, that's a good question. I feel like mental health is such a big issue. If I could dedicate my life to something, it would definitely be like pouring into people who have mental health issues. Not necessarily as like a therapist, but as someone who has walked through things myself, and kind of like help them and encourage them, specifically young girls who just don't really know their worth or their value. I feel like that's where I would want to pour a lot of my time into, because I feel like at this point I'm kind of not an expert, but I have a lot of knowledge about those things because I had to learn them for myself. If you had one day left to live on Earth, what would you do? I would go skydiving. I would spend time with my family. Yeah, I'd probably spend a lot of time with my family, or take my family skydiving, which I've never done yet. I'm 28 and I've never been skydiving. I wanted to go on my 21st birthday. I didn't have money, so I asked my parents and they were like, no, we're not gonna pay for your death. So it never happened, and I really wanna go skydiving, and nobody wants to go with me or spend the money, which I get, but why can't most people keep up with trends in music, fashion, tech as they get older? This is an interesting question because I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with the amount of platforms there are out there for music, for media, for social media. Like there's just a lot to keep up with. Like even for me, even like managing Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is like a lot. Like it's like a lot to keep up with. And on top of it, like a YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and a Vimeo, and Spotify, and Apple Music, and all those things, it's just like a lot. And so like people like my sister who don't really keep up with those things, it's because she's not on all of those platforms and not like actively seeking out what's like new in today's age. So I think especially for my generation and my sister's generation, like I was born in 1990, so I was like right on the cusp of that millennial breakthrough of technology. Whereas back in the day, news, music, movies, all of it was on the television. Like you turned on one TV, you had different channels. If you wanted music, you go to MTV or BET. If you wanted to listen to a podcast, you would listen to the radio. If you wanted to watch a movie, you would go to TNT or TBS. If you wanted to watch a show, you would go to the show channels. Like it was just very easy for my parents, whereas for us, it's like there's so many different apps and platforms to keep up with. That's an interesting question. Last question. Where do you find meaning in your life? One word. Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life for this girl.